This podcast discusses video games, modern culture, and technology, and these podcasters are big fat potty mouths. If you're younger than 18 or are easily offended, please stop this podcast now. Oh, and your mom says to take out the trash and do your homework.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to GameHounds Live. Yes, live. All new. Actually, we were arguing about that. It's not really all new. It's kind of sort of new. We are going to be going live from now on Spreaker, and then be posting it just one show. No happy endings. Just one show. You can join us. We're here for you. And I'm Edie Sellers. Today is Wednesday, March 26, 2014. And with me is Holy Goalie and Nick DiNicola.
Yeah, we listened to your feedback. We really did.
All three of you.
We listened to all three of you and all of our moms and our sisters and our aunts that listen to the show that make up our audience.
Hi, Mom.
But, I mean, everybody had some good suggestions, and we talked it over and hashed it out. And, our short-term plan is GameHounds Live every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday.
Well, I mean, technically that's the day we're supposed to do it. You know, I mean, you never know. If Nick has to go outside and we
have to piddle Nick.
Yeah.
If my skin gets burned from that radioactive thing you call sunlight.
No. But so we won't be splitting the show up into two shows, at least for the right now. So welcome to the all new and improved 2.0 GameHounds Live,
which is so much like the 1.0 that you kind of.
Well, it combines two shows, so it's 2.0.
So, okay, all right, two shows, which means, it's the show we should have always been doing.
Oh,
It's all right. It's all right,
Way to look at the bad side. just bring us all down.
Sorry. I'm like that right now.
Oh, so anyway, so we are a video game show. We will be talking games. We have plenty of news this week. Nick brings the news. He's like the Walter Cronkite of video games.
I don't know about that. Last week when I wasn't here, Nick said to me, I don't know what we're going to talk about. I mean, we're not going to do a regular GameHound show because I don't really know. I mean, there's not that much news. It was fucking GDC. God damn it. How do you not have news during GDC?
GDC didn't really have a lot of news other than like this Sony VR stuff.
It really was kind of like it should have been a blockbuster week of news, but it really was kind of a lot of meh. Nothing that was like, oh my God, we got to talk about this. And like I said, again, I was fighting a sinus infection last week, and I turned to Nick. And
did he bring it? I didn't listen to it this week.
No, Nick did not bring it at all. It was probably the worst GameHounds of all time.
Really?
Since Nick joined us, which has been bad. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Ever since I brought the show down.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
So
but anyway, we're back this week, so we got plenty of news this week, plenty to talk about, plenty of games we've been playing, new games, and a whole bit. So let's kick it off. What have we all been doing as far as games?
Oh, as far as games? Okay. I finished the second episode of the second season of The Walking Dead. Did it in all one sitting.
Oh, wow.
Now, I remember when you did it, Nick, you said something about this episode you didn't really particularly like. And
yes.
Without being too spoilerific, if we can.
It's the dude you recognize.
Really? I thought...
The dude that comes back.
Oh, no. No.
That's about as bullshit as you can get.
No.
I hated that.
Really?
Yep.
No, I liked it.
It's the show, like the first episode with kind of how fast it put Clementine on her own was like, this season we're going to stand on our own. We're getting rid of, we're cutting ties from the first season. This is a whole new thing. And this episode is like, oh shit, we ran too far. Let's run back to like what was familiar and the characters that you know from the first season. Nope, that's bad. You don't bring people back like that. that ruins kind of the
I don't know.
drama and it ruins the drama and tension of like what can happen.
I disagree because I think that given this is like a year later, if not more than the end of the first one, I think that a chance encounter with somebody that you recognize from your past isn't that unheard of. Especially,
that wouldn't be, except that character. That is what my problem.
But I like the idea. It's that character because that character has a potential for evolving.
No, he doesn't. He has gone through the quintessential Walking Dead arc, and like, okay, I reserve the right to change my mind and like to be proven wrong.
Right.
But based on what they've set up so far, it looks like he's just going to go through the exact same character arc, that nothing new is going to happen with him because nothing new can happen with him.
No, I disagree. He's moved on. He's got a new life. He's got a new family.
Well, no, he doesn't. He had a family before, and this is just a replacement family. Like, what's going to happen? The same thing that happened last time. That's all.
Maybe.
I actually was so disappointed. I looked at like who wrote the episode and who wrote the majority of the episodes of season 1, and I was so disappointed to find that like the lead writer for all the best episodes of season 1 is no longer at Telltale.
Oh.
And I thought, you know what? I can feel it. I feel the loss.
Something that Kevin noticed, because of course he sat with me when we did it, is how this season seems to be mirroring a main story arc of the television show, in that it introduces a character who's very much like the governor.
Oh. Yeah. And that's something that the games haven't done yet. Like, they haven't had a bad guy.
No.
Like a main bad guy.
No. And
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it mostly because I don't watch the regular show. Yes, all right. I don't watch the regular show because it gives me nightmares, so I can't watch
fine.
it.
The show has had its ups and downs.
Right.
Although
and
the last half of season 4,
yeah,
damn good.
Yeah, that's what Kevin.
Best ever bad.
Kevin Kevin watches it religiously, and so I'm aware of what's happening. I just can't watch it from the beginning because it messes with my dreams. It gives me zombie dreams, bad zombie dreams, so I can't do it. But
you should totally watch the episode from 2 weeks ago.
I heard about it. And no,
it'll haunt you.
Yes, I know, and that's its point. I am reading the books though. I bought the book of the first, I guess, year of the comic book, so I'm reading that because I bought it for Kevin and he didn't read it, so I'm reading it now.
I tried reading the comics and I didn't really like them. I didn't think they were very good.
Really?
Yeah. Well, it felt too rushed. Like he was desperate to get through, a lot. Yeah, and it makes sense because in the beginning he didn't know how long the comic would go, so he's just like, I gotta get this story going. I've got to move,
mm-hmm.
and it just doesn't feel like it moves too fast. But that's just me.
And but I liked it a lot. I also went back to Grand Theft Auto 5, the online.
Oh,
goddamn, that's fun. Bugs and all. But it's still damn fun. Some just moments of absolute hilarity will ensue, where you get to that moment where it's like, God, this is kind of boring. And then something will happen and you're just like milk squirting out of your nose laughing hard. And that's what just makes that game. So it's still, even though I have yet to finish the campaign, I once again found myself loving Grand Theft Auto again. And I miss my 360, but God, it is slow. How did I live with that game? And it's not just the console loading up the games and not just the console loading like cutscenes are loading into a game or even just starting, the controller itself is laggy and you don't understand it. Oh, God,
Really?
yes. Yeah,
What?
especially in that game. If the controller itself just feels like you're controlling through mud.
Then that's got to
Yeah,
be just
yeah.
the controls of the game itself, not the controller.
Maybe.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with the controller.
No, never has been.
Yeah, maybe it might
I've
be
been
my
playing-
console
I'm playing
too,
Dark
because like
Souls.
it'll take a couple of minutes before something. Well, not minutes, but a few seconds when you bring up a menu before the controller starts to actually work.
Well, that's the game, yeah. Because the menus in Grand Theft Auto 5 were pretty bad.
Yeah, but it's still a fun game. Driving is fun. Getting away from the cops is fun.
The
Getting up to
driving
4
is
stars.
great, Grand Theft Auto. I got to say, the driving is really responsive and fun. The game itself, you know what I think about that
Yeah.
game.
So we got people in the chat room, and all of a sudden it's turned into sports talk in the chat room.
Well, you know what's funny is Corey Wallace has been going back and forth with, remember the Sports Hound, Will Griff?
Yeah.
They're all on Twitter talking football all the time now, so I can occasionally jump in and talk football with them. So that's how that come about.
Got it. So what you guys been playing?
I think did I mention I finished South Park? I might have mentioned that last week when you weren't here.
Yeah.
Yep. So, well, just real quick,
Well, I
I
didn't
finished
hear it.
South Park Stick of Truth. That was awesome. It was weird because remember they were talking about that game forever. Then all of a sudden, it just kind of come out. It was like a knock on the door from someone who says, "Yeah, I'm going to come visit you sometime," and then they just knock on the door. It's like I didn't even realize it was out.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Oh yeah, that's going to be out in another year or so." Because that's what it felt like. It felt like they kept putting her up, and all of a sudden one day it's like, "Up, it's here."
Well, it had its issues because of the what was it, THQ bankruptcy and all that. So yeah.
But it just as a gamer, it got pushed back, and then, so you end up forgetting about it because it's like, okay, whenever it comes out, fine, and then boom, it was there. I was like, wow, that's kind of cool. And then it was an RPG, which I had no idea what Stick of Truth was going to be. Mm-hmm. The South Park games I played were all kind of simple button mashing games, And here's this RPG, a very well done RPG, turn based strategy, fighting game, very well done with all the South Park humor. So it was really fun. I finally went back and finished, I think, all the quests and all the missions. I finished them all. I didn't get all the collectibles. Unfortunately, there's a couple of missions that once you finish, you can't go back into certain places. And if there's collectibles in there, then if you didn't get them, then you're not going to get them.
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah, that's the only downer that I found about that game. So I mean, I don't know if I go play it again as a different character and I find them, I don't know how that all works, if I can collect them again that way if I go back and play it again. But highly recommended, highly fun. Again, the turn-based strategy was kind of weird for a South Park game. You just didn't expect that in a South Park game, but I got used to it. It was fun. I found out, eventually I started because I'm just like I'm a tank when I play the RPGs. I just hit with my sword. But I finally started using all the power-ups, and that's how you actually killed some of the bosses, by using your special powers, which I didn't do for the longest time because I never figured it out. But, get through that, get through the tutorials, especially the fart tutorials, which are horrible. And
Wait a minute, did you say fart tutorials?
Yeah, fart tutorials, when they show you how to fart in the game. And you got to use your farts quite a bit. It is so difficult. The tutorials are ridiculous, and then you get in the game and they're easy. It's weird. It's so weird how 20 times it took me to get through the tutorials, and then when you use it in the game, it's not nearly as hard. It's really weird.
Yeah.
And it took a while to learn. Like the left bumper, it controls like the different things you can do as far as calling up your buddy, or you have an alien probe that you can actually ping around with and beam up to certain areas. So you're constantly using all your skills in the game to get certain places and to finish certain missions. And it wasn't quite clear at the beginning. There was one part I actually got stuck, and I almost quit the game. And I went online, and it said, that you have to switch to a certain character, and then you can get through this part, which I had no idea. They didn't really spell that out. But again, the learning curve aside, it was so much fun. Played the whole thing all the way through. Typical South Park humor. So, yeah, I recommend that. And then I slipped back over to my PS4, and I picked up Infamous Second Son. And I actually got it for the wife because she's like, I got nothing to play. I'm like, why don't you play this? It says it looks like it's going to be like Crackdown, but it also might be like BioShock, so it might be right up your alley. So I got it for her, and I'd like to say we played it, but we're doing more watching than playing right now.
Like as in cutscenes?
It's one of those games that they want you to sit and watch. And we're not talking like 15, 20 seconds. It's to a point where the cutscenes are so long that I look up and we're both on our phones scrolling through Facebook and email waiting for them.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Can't you just skip
No, we're hitting all the buttons you can't skip. Yeah, at least on the first playthrough, they make you watch it. You know, there's one scene, they start off, you do something, and then it's a whole long cut scene, and then you go, you got to, run to a certain place, and that's when they show you how to run and jump and the whole bit. Then you get there, and there's another long cut scene, and then you actually have your first fight, which is pretty good, and then there's another long cut scene. So it's like you're constantly picking up and putting down the controller. It's really, wow. And then it was a very linear game in the beginning. I'm like, well, it's okay. I'm having some fun. And then another long cutscene. And then there was a part of it that you were jumping over a bridge and it turned into a platform, and I kept falling off the bridge. I'm like, I don't like jumping. If you don't time it just right, you die, and you got to keep doing it over until you time it just right. That's always annoyed me. But then you finally get over the bridge and you get into the town of Seattle, and it opens up, and now it's like Crackdown 2. Or Saints Row 4, where you're in a city and you got to liberate parts of the city and you got all these side missions. And that's where I just got to now. And I'm like, okay, this is pretty cool now. So I'm only about 10 or 15% through the game. But, boy, I tell you, it was like pulling teeth the first part of that game between all the watching you have to do in just the linear play and then the platform jumping, and then finally you get to the city, and now it's cool because now it's like Crackdown 2. You're jumping up on top of buildings and you're dropping down on people and you're fighting people, and you got little side missions you're doing. You try to, bust up the bad guys and control parts of the city. So that's where I am now, and now it's starting to get good. But boy, what a long road it was to get to this point. And I don't know what's ahead of me. I still don't know what's ahead of me in this game, but it finally took a turn for the better.
Good.
Having some fun with it.
All right, good. By the way, also speaking of having fun with things, something else I played that I forgot to mention is that I'm playing Tomb Raider Second Ultimate Edition.
Oh, yes. How are you liking it?
I'm liking it a lot, but I thought of it just as you had said that you go past stuff and then you can't go back to it in order to pick it up or, get the collectibles or finish off that part of it. And I'm hoping that is available to you in Tomb Raider because there were so many things that I couldn't get to.
Yeah.
Because I don't have the right weapons. Like I didn't have the shotgun to blow open a door, or I didn't have this, that, or the other at the very beginning.
Yeah, you can always go back.
Okay. Yeah.
That game.
All right.
Yeah, you get different power-ups, and you upgrade certain things that'll open up, tombs and whatever.
Right.
So, yeah, they're really good about that. The Tomb Raider was awesome. I mean, I don't know how far along.
God, she gets beat up.
Oh, my God. I mean, I don't know how anybody could deal with that.
She just gets all fucked up.
It's like, she's was stitching herself and burning wounds closed and falling off cliffs, and then she's just running through the jungle like nothing happened, It's like,
covered in mud, covered in blood.
We got to get her on Naked and Afraid. That's my new show. I had a Naked and Afraid marathon last Sunday, and I'm just like, forget it. Drop me in the Amazon, and then at night get eaten by thousands of mosquitoes. No, that's okay.
Fuck that.
I don't care if I'm laying next to a hot chick or not. That's just not gonna happen.
If you're naked and afraid, you're not laying next to anything. You're moving.
Yeah. So I've watched that show. It's pretty good. Just all the snakes and snails and puppy dog tails that they have to fight with and try to hunt for food, and so forget it. I wouldn't last. I last a night and be like, get me out of here.
Yeah, no, that's the reason why. Well, I hate shows like that. They're just it's essentially survival porn is all it is, and I hate shows like that. So Nick, what are you playing?
Dark Souls.
Still
Lots of more Dark Souls. like every day, put a couple hours into that, and every day make a little bit more progress.
Yeah.
And it's good because the more I play it, the more I can articulate why it's so enjoyable. Like the boss fights are some of the most intense that I've ever played, and I noticed that once they're done, like my heart's beating really fast and my hands are kind of shaking, and I realized, oh man, like I was on the edge of my seat here. This was intense, even when it's not a particularly difficult boss fight. Because like the way the game is set up, it's not a very like, you know, in God of War, when you swing, when you do a basic attack, like it's a spectacle. You know, he swings his blades around in this circle, and it's crazy looking. And you don't exactly get the same thing in Dark Souls. Like, combat doesn't necessarily look very flashy, but it's all about timing, and enemies hit you really hard.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even when you get, you can increase your health a lot, and that is certainly helpful, but it doesn't change the fact that enemies will still take off a good chunk of health. And so when you fight a boss, even if that boss is easy, you know, even if their attack pattern is predictable and you can dodge them a lot, when they hit you, that's a big deal, because all of a sudden you're down a lot of health and you're in trouble. And the way you refill health is that you have these like consumable items, but they refill your health slowly over time. And then the animation to use them, you know, makes you vulnerable for a little bit, because you have to kind of stop, use the item, and then get moving again. Or you could use this thing called an Estus flask that gives you more life, but the animation to use it is even longer. But at least those, you have kind of, those are a consumable item that gets refilled over and over again. So, you know, it's okay to use them however much you want, because whenever you go rest like a checkpoint, they all come back. So, like, you know, finding an easy boss with an attack pattern, I get attacked once, and it's like red flags, alarms going off everywhere, because I know, okay, in order to heal myself, I can't just heal right away. I have to kind of stop, wait for the enemy to attack, and then heal, because I have to wait until they're kind of distracted. And when you block, like, everything revolves around the stamina meter. And when you block, it doesn't take health away, but it takes stamina away.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you attack, that also takes stamina away. So, and then your stamina bar is constantly refilling, though.
Right.
So it's this pattern of, you know, I have to block, but if I block too much, I won't be able to attack. And then when I attack, if I attack too much, I won't be able to block when the enemy attacks. So it's this constant, you know, push and pull of, do I want to attack? Do I want to block? You know, I have to heal, have to stop and wait. And so much of it is just kind of about watching and waiting, that, you know, even when the combat isn't flashy and it's not full of spectacle, as I'm playing it, my mind is just constantly racing about, like, okay, watch the enemy, watch them, go, attack, wait, don't attack too much, pull back. And it's incredibly tense. But when you do defeat a boss, when you do defeat a tough enemy, it's so satisfying because it's so tense.
Right.
That's what makes it so addictive.
That sense of achievement, like you've done something.
Yep. Like I've done something with my life.
I'm sorry. I'm so distracted right now because I just got an alert that actually relates to gaming news. You know Leland Yee, right? He was the California
oh yeah, that guy,
lawmaker that tried to get that law in about video games, violent video games, that would have fined, what was it, not the retailer, but the guy behind the counter who sold a mature video game to somebody under the age of 18, essentially turning it into the equivalent of alcohol. And it was going to fine that person $1,000. And it was struck down by a lower court, and he tried to get an appeals court to review it, and the appeals court went, nope, that was right. It violates the First Amendment. He just got arrested and led out of his chambers in San Francisco in handcuffs for corruption and bribery. Him and a guy that Goalie will appreciate this, Raymond Shrimp Boy Chow.
What?
Raymond Shrimp Boy Chow. Raymond Shrimp Boy Chow is apparently a gangster, a former Chinatown gangster who's now president of the Supreme Lodge of Chinese Freemasons of the World in San Francisco. So, he and a former gangster, now Freemason, have been let out in handcuffs of his offices for bribery and corruption. There you go. Don't. Boy, it's like Jack Thompson all over again. This literally just happened a few minutes ago. So,
breaking news.
It is breaking news, and it's crazy because I know Li Linqi personally, and it's just wow, seriously. Because he was a city supervisor when I was working for the newspaper. I sat around drinking with Li Linqi, and now he's in jail. Crazy. Okay, anyway, so any other games you've been playing?
I'm trying to think. I feel like there was something that I played, but I can't remember.
That says a lot about Dark Souls when it's like all other games pale in comparison.
Well, it does. I keep kind of wanting to go back to Fire Emblem, but then whenever I have a free hour, it's like, no, I'm going to push ahead in Dark Souls. Because even just the environment, it's the way the world connects is really fascinating. And you'll explore an area and then find a door that kind of leads to this path, and maybe it'll lead to a boss, or maybe it'll lead to a whole other environment. Mm-hmm. And then you get in that environment. And last night, I was sort of faced with this decision of, okay, do I want to go to the area where I know there's a boss and fight the boss? Or do I want to go to this unexplored area and explore that more thoroughly?
Mm-hmm.
And it really taps into, your sense of exploration. You just want to explore these places because there's so much to find in them. And they're really fascinating visually. It's a
nice,
great art in that game.
Yeah, it's funny. You love this game, and I'm a little leery of it because I know that one of the reasons why you love it is it's so hard, and I don't necessarily know that I want to play a game that hard.
I totally say rent it before you buy it because spending $60, I knew what I was getting into. And again, I played Dark Souls 1 on the 360 when I bought it when it was $5 on sale.
Mm-hmm.
So, I was willing to drop that to test out this game and kind of see what it was like. And I really ended up loving it. But, it's totally a game that if people don't like, I can't fault them for that at all.
Mm-hmm.
I totally understand it.
Yeah. I don't blame them either.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. So, hey, guess what? We actually got through our reviews and we can hit the news.
All right.
Oh my God. This is the GameHounds news, the news, and commentary of the week in gaming with Gamer Edie, Holy Goalie, Nick DiNicola. Okay, well, we've already talked about some of the news with Leland Yee. Wow. I'm still kind of blown away by that. But we'll find out more details later with him, what he and Shrimp Boy were doing. But the big news this week.
How did you name yourself a gangster named Shrimp Boy? Why? I thought gangsters were supposed to have tough names that kind of are intimidating.
It's kind of like Babyface and Shrimp Boy.
I guess so. Maybe the fact that he's like Shrimp Boy and he's super cruel and sadistic is scarier.
Fear the shrimp. I don't know. I don't know anything about Chinese gangsters. Anyway, the biggest news, obviously, in all of tech and gaming this week hit yesterday. In fact, it was so big, Kevin actually emailed it to me, which means that he heard about it before I did. Oculus Rift sold to Facebook for $2 billion.
I know. What's up?
Yeah.
Yeah, the deal, which was announced yesterday on Tuesday, is expected to close in the second quarter of this year. So it is all but done. Nothing left but the crying. And the deal has going to include $400 million in cash and $1.6 billion in Facebook stock, as well as an additional $300 million if Oculus meets certain performance targets.
Like, the first thing that was surprising about that is that Facebook bought Oculus.
Yeah.
The second thing that was surprising is that they paid $2 billion
for it.
Like, this was I understand that Oculus is like kind of a, hot new thing and people are really, positive on it. But, it was like, 2 years ago it had a $2 million Kickstarter.
Yeah. Yeah. And they got an additional $90 million in venture capitalist money.
Yeah, but even then, like $90 million, that's a good lot of money for venture capitalists. But $2
that's
billion?
like 0.5% of what.
Holy fuck! Like I
don't know
what is it about that that's worth $2 billion?
That's
VR has not even like an established thing yet.
I know, and on top of that, I mean, think about it. This is Facebook, and everybody talks about what a smart guy Mark Zuckerberg is, and all right, yes, he's no idiot. But he almost sometimes seems like he is a teenage boy who won the lottery. And it's like he's just buying shit because he can. Like, he bought WhatsApp. Remember WhatsApp? That was, I guess, last month or 2 months ago? What did he pay for WhatsApp? I forgot. It was some insane number.
It was another billion something.
WhatsApp, Facebook acquisition. $16 billion for WhatsApp.
That's insane.
He spent $20 billion in just these two. In fact, when they were laughing about this because the WhatsApp deal, Kevin was saying that they were laughing at work because they kind of added it up and they realized that Facebook could have bought Lucas, Marvel, and what's the other one that Disney owns?
Pixar. That
they could have bought all three of those companies for less than what they bought WhatsApp for. And it's like, and what have we seen of WhatsApp? Not much. People are saying, well, I could see it. You could have, you could be virtually meeting people in their own living room through Facebook. You could be watching movies together on Oculus Rift on Facebook. It's like, you don't even watch movies together right now on the portal. Why would you buy another product so that you can watch it virtual reality through Facebook? I do not see, and maybe it's because I'm not very smart, I have a small mind, I do not see how Oculus Rift fits with Facebook. I honestly don't.
I saw someone make an interesting point that this is like Facebook trying to branch out into other things like Google, trying to grow their, just grow their business in a way that's not.
Right. And that's what I thought. It was like, all right, well, this is going to be the alternative to Google Glass, or a piece of hardware that's going to grow Facebook. But I don't see this piece of hardware growing Facebook. And
yeah, it's definitely.
And Google, whenever it comes out with something, it's like it's always fitting into the expansion of using Google as this web-based portal for all this stuff. Facebook doesn't have that. Facebook is a social network, and that's what it's doing right now, and hasn't got the foundation to actually add the hardware to put into it to make it grow anything more than what it is, a social network. It is, mark my word, people, it is the MySpace of the next generation. Because unless they've got some huge plans and are going to roll out a crazy amount of shit in the next 5 years, all of this money is wasted. $20 billion that they have spent in the last year.
I had read too that this was sort of Mark Zuckerberg jumping on like the early train. You know, because one of the reasons he paid so much for WhatsApp is that Facebook kind of missed, you know, how people use instant messaging services. Like they don't use text, they don't use Facebook chat, they use these other text services that are cheaper. And Facebook like totally missed out on that, you know, rise of mobile social networking. And so they ended up paying $16 billion for it.
Right.
But with this one, you know, yeah, $2 billion is a lot, but it's also less than 16.
Right.
And so people are speculating that this is Zuckerberg sort of jumping on the next big thing really early, because he says in like one of his statements about it that he doesn't expect to make a profit from Oculus Rift for like 5 to 10 years. Like this is a long-term investment plan.
I just don't see it. I don't see it.
And even then, he said that he valued it. I don't see how this is possible, but this is what he said in the statement, that Oculus was valued at $2 billion just for its gaming capabilities alone. So it will be interesting. Like, I think it's actually really good for Oculus. Like, they get all the fucking money that they could need to, you know, continue making this prototype, which is pretty neat. Well, it's not a prototype. I mean, to continue making like the best consumer product that they can.
Right, the dev kit's on the way to being
yeah, and that's always a good thing. But also the fact that Facebook, you know, is Facebook puts this, you know, really niche piece of technology suddenly into the mainstream consciousness, and that can only be good for Oculus, and especially can only be good for something that's as kind of, you know, niche, has virtual reality in headsets, you know. It took, you know, the biggest box office movie ever made to make 3D mainstream, and Oculus kind of doesn't have that advantage.
No.
So that's a good thing. I think it'll work out well for them. And
it's like, what, are they anticipating like Candy Crush Saga in 3D? Virtual reality Candy Crush Saga?
Yeah, I don't know what you could do with Facebook games with Oculus, but yeah.
What else are they going to use it for? Maybe I just lack imagination.
What they could do, like, they could basically make it be compatible with PC games and with console games and all that, and just have it be Facebook, you know? Facebook Oculus Rift for PS4. You know, it's just like a third-party thing.
You know, I'd believe that a whole lot more if I would have a lot more faith that Facebook will figure out or has a plan of what to do and is going to do it well. If Facebook actually had even a fucking iPhone app that worked right, its fucking iPhone app is one of the worst things out there. If it can't get an iPhone app right, what makes you think that it's going to do virtual reality well? I just don't know what's going on. And I don't know. It seems like a kick in the teeth to all the Kickstarters.
I've heard that, and I don't get that.
Well, because Kickstarters threw their money in behind it with this anticipation that it was going to be about, you know, it's independent, it's about games, it's going to be available for this, that, and the other, and now it's owned by Facebook, which is a huge co, and Facebook, as you know, has absolutely no problem not doing something that makes sense simply because it doesn't like the idea, i.e. why its fucking app doesn't work.
But I mean, they've completed all their Kickstarter goals. Like,
the
Kickstarter was basically like, hey, help us take off this piece of technology. The moment they started getting venture capitalist money, they grew well beyond their Kickstarter goals.
True. Like,
this is really it's just a extension of the venture capitalist, but it's really no different than that.
No, it's true. Just to flesh out the details on this, according to Zuckerberg, he says, mobile is the platform of today, and we're also getting ready for the platforms of tomorrow. Oculus has the chance to create the most social platform ever and change the way we work, play, and communicate. I think he's expecting way too much from virtual reality.
Yeah. And then what's weird is that Notch, you know, the guy that made Minecraft.
Yeah.
As soon as this news came out, He's like, nope, Minecraft is not coming out for Oculus Rift. I don't like Facebook. Canceling Minecraft for Oculus.
Yeah, he's shortly after the Facebook announcement, Notch went on to Twitter, and he wrote this, quote, "We were in talks about maybe bringing a version of Minecraft to Oculus. I just canceled that deal. Facebook creeps me out."
I know, huh?
Have you seen his? He released a more detailed statement today. Did you see that?
Oh, no, I didn't.
It's really, 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 really long. But here's the kind of the gist of it. He wrote, "Don't get me wrong, VR is not bad for social. In fact, I think social could become one of the biggest applications of VR. Being able to sit in a virtual living room and see your friend's avatar, business meetings, virtual cinemas where you feel like you're actually watching the movie with your friends who is 7 time zones away. But I don't want to work with social. I want to work with games." And I think that's where ultimately the kick in the balls to the Kickstarters is that it's now been sold not to a gaming company, it's been sold to a social networking company.
Yeah.
I guess, but then venture capitalists aren't either, and they're probably even more vicious in terms of like getting money back than Facebook would be.
Maybe. Well, yes, getting their money back, absolutely. But Facebook owning the whole thing, that's kind of how should I say? It's the juggernaut that Facebook gets to determine all on its own where this goes. There's none input from them. We own it. You do what we say. We want it to be a social networking controller, not a games controller. And oh, fuck that, it's not going to Xbox. And oh, fuck that, it's not going to the Wii. That they get to determine how and where it grows instead of it being an independent company that will go where the demand is. Facebook can actually say, fuck the demand. We want it to be about social networking. We want you to have virtual meetings with an Oculus Rift, and gaming is not important to us.
Like, they can do that, but at the same time, that's always a risk with anything. I mean,
but they have enough. Dude, I take it back. They have spent $20 billion in the last 3 months buying shit. They don't have to do anything for anybody. They can say, fuck PC, and it will never work on a PC for games. They can say, fuck gaming. They don't care. They've got more money than God. And they don't do things well. And if anybody knows anything about Facebook, they don't really fucking care what's the right thing to do. They'll do it because they want to do it. They don't care that you can't get, that your privacy is compromised. That even if everybody says this is a bad idea, they know that you'll keep using it. So fuck you. They just throw out changes to stuff without ever considering what people want because they know that we're zombies and we'll just keep running up and eating their brains as long as they keep offering them to us. That was a terrible, terrible analogy. Sorry.
You're in this whole zombie thing, huh?
I am. See, this is why I can't
just
watch
finished
it.
Walking Dead, I
know. I can't. That's why I can't watch the show. It becomes too much of my reality. In other news,
acquisition news, Disney apparently bought Maker Studios, which is this YouTube, I guess, is part of the YouTube network that distributes content like PewDiePie, who's this Let's Player, and Total Biscuit, who's always been in the news for, stupid indie guys trying to sue him because he talks shit about the games.
Right. And Disney bought them?
Yeah, for $500 million.
Oh my God.
Which is a lot of money, but certainly a far cry from $2 billion. And you know what? I could see how it'd be worth $500 million because that makes a lot of money. YouTube networks do.
Yep. By the way,
There's
if anybody wants Disney, if you want to buy GameHounds for even $1 million, I'll totally do it. It's yours. Just take it. I'll even work for free. Just give me $1 million. I'll share it with Nick mostly. And Goalie.
I'll get $10.
You suck.
I'll get $10. Goalie will get $5.
That's right. Well, I'll go out to dinner. How about that? Dinner at Kowloon. We'll celebrate.
Dinner at Kowloon every day
suck
for a year.
I hate this
What?
live
Drinks
show
are on
thing.
me.
You guys all suck. Actually, I like it because I can say you suck and you can't edit me.
Oh, live. That's right. Fuck you. So yeah, that makes sense. And Total Biscuit certainly, actually, he got probably more a higher profile by being banned or having stuff done to him by YouTube via these indie games that didn't want him to say stuff. Than if he'd actually done a good review. He was actually helped by indie games.
And
being
maybe it'll be nice. There's, a giant company like Disney behind some of these channels,
right?
Because maybe that will help force YouTube to go. I don't know. Maybe.
Well, YouTube won't be as interested in fucking with someone if they're a Disney product.
Yeah,
they've got the big stick now. So yeah, I'm good for him. I'm glad. I'm happy with that one. And Disney owns a lot of these YouTube channels and consumer media stuff. So they know how to do it, and they're pretty hands off with a lot of stuff. They've got their fingers in so many pies.
Yeah, and you know what? Recently, they've been properly hands off, like with the Marvel acquisition stuff. They've seemed to have left that well enough alone.
Yep.
Hey, so what's up with this guy here? 1 million gamer score points.
Yeah. Somebody had 1 million gamer score, and he got it genuinely too.
Yeah. His name is Ray Cox, and that's COX.
Of course.
In case you were wondering.
Highbrow. Come on, try and be highbrow. A little bit. Just a little bit, just for me. Just for mommy.
I'm just saying 1 million gamer points. I mean, I have like 20,000.
I know.
20,000 I have. Maybe 25. And I've been playing for 8 or 10 years. How? How do you get 1 million?
By playing a lot of games.
I know.
By playing a lot of shitty games.
All the way through and getting all of the achievements.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, what kind of person has this time to do? And good for him. Hey, good for him. I'm not trying to dump on the guy, but I mean, it's just, you know what I mean? It's like someone that collects 1 million matchsticks he found on the ground. You know what I mean? It's like, how do you have the time for all this?
Well, he's young. He started very young. His parents did not control his video gaming, and he found a goal, and he pushed for it. I have to say, bravo, sir.
Yeah,
well played.
I know.
Literally.
But it's just, it's like, fly, be free, explore the world, go to Denny's, something,
Let's not go to Denny's. This is very good.
Nick, you're just wrecking the story here.
Let's go to Calvin for drinks.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just...
go to Calvin. He should go to Calvin to celebrate.
That's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Can you just picture up on the wall with the other celebrities that have been there?
Yeah, that's the biggest ball of string right there, what that guy did. It's just
pretty much
odd. I think it's just odd.
Well, he got some notoriety out of it. I guess he was flown out to Microsoft and met up with Larry Herb and all that.
That's a ton. That's 8 years of his life gone.
Yeah, that's just a lot of points too. The time invested in that. I mean, I like achievements. I like getting achievements. I don't even have 100,000.
Yeah.
I don't even have 1/10 of that.
No, I know that's what I'm saying. Is I'm around 25,000, and I'm excited, that I have all that. But does that take away from the enjoyment of the game when you're on a quest like that? Because you're playing a game.
No, it's just a different way of playing it.
But
just a different
I
way.
think he's playing a different game. He's playing the achievement game, not necessarily.
But what I'm saying is, but
Saints Row 4.
He's playing the Xbox. He's not playing a game.
Yeah, but So I mean, it's like let's just it's like he couldn't play. He's playing Madden or if he's playing hockey or basketball. It's like he can't just play for the enjoyment of it because he would have to play a certain way to get the achievements.
Right.
And
sometimes that can be fun. Like I enjoy that because it makes me play a game a different way.
I mean, think about Fable. When you needed that
points.
achievement, when we had a baby in Fable, and then I lost it.
Yeah, you left it in the demon dimension.
But we did that strictly for a
that baby is the king of hell now.
But what I'm saying is there's so much gameplay outside of the achievements. I mean, and it is fun to get them, and it does add to the game having achievements in there to do certain things. But, there's so much of the game that's not achievements. It's like if you can't play the non-achievement part of the game, I think you're kind of cheating yourself out of enjoying it.
True.
Because how often do we get achievements when we play? We have fun. It's just we love what we do and this and that. And hey, we beat a level, maybe we get achievement, maybe we don't. But I mean to say, okay, I have to go and do this, and I have to do this to get this achievement. It's almost very linear.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and that's what the number comes back to, is that I think achievements are great, but to get that many, like, you have to be very dedicated in that, and you kind of can't focus on other things. And you have to play games that give you achievements. Like, there's this one game, what's that anime show everyone loves? The Last Airbender.
Oh, Avatar.
The Last Airbender. There's a game of that where you can get like all 1,000 achievement points in the first 10 minutes. And as someone that likes achievement points, I've thought about like renting that and just playing it to get the points. But then I thought, no, that's going too far. I like achievements, but that is like a line I don't want to cross, of playing a shitty game specifically for the achievement points.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting at.
That's what he would have had to do
doing
several times over.
Yeah, doing games
1,000 times over. According to Iron Fist, he did the calculation 1,000 games to get 1,000,000 gamer score points.
Wow.
That's a lot of games.
Minimum.
Yeah.
Minimum.
You know how much home run challenge you'd have to play? That's one thing I do miss about going to the PS4 is I don't get the whole trophy thing. Maybe it's just the way they do it. I don't get it, but I did like my achievements, and I get 50 points, or 5 points, or 10 points, and you see your score.
Trophies just don't do it for me.
No, trophies don't.
The point value of achievements was like the best thing about them.
Yeah.
Just how it added to your overall score, and you saw that number go up for different games you played, and it just was a nice little got an achievement. That's pretty cool. And you hear everybody in the headset. You hear the little bloink. That was really cool because everybody get the same achievement, especially if you played the game together.
Right.
That was always fun. But you have the trophy things like, oh, you've earned a trophy. It's like,
bling, you earned a trophy, and it's bronze.
And you can't share it. You can't
share
share it. You can't go to the trophy and share it on Facebook or anything. Right. You have to enable all or nothing.
Yeah.
Really?
Kind of weird. Yeah. And have you guys been getting the no sound glitch on PlayStation?
No, I haven't been playing PlayStation.
I've been getting it all the time.
Not all the time. I've had it occasionally.
I turn it on and we go to play a game. There's no sound, so we got to shut it down, reboot the PlayStation, and then make sure there's sound in the dashboard. Because sometimes you get it down low and you're not hearing. You don't hear if there's any sound. You go into the game, it's like I think we started playing Second Son. I was like, this whole driving sequence is no sound.
Yeah.
There's got to be sound, so we have to reboot a few times. So I've been getting that quite a bit. Kind of surprised.
Yeah, I've had it a couple of times. I think I had it in Thief a couple of times. What little I played of it, and I just rebooted it. And it was fine, but still, it's kind of funny that you mentioned. I didn't really think of it as being a big thing until you just mentioned it.
So, I know that the PlayStation had a recent patch. Was it actually patched or was it not? Did it actually come out? I thought it did. And I was wondering
how long ago?
I was wondering if I'm still showing up as online all the time.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So they didn't fix that.
Yeah, I'm surprised you don't have 1,000,000 trophies by now.
That's too bad. Yeah, that's true. Come on. Was my trophy full most times spent online?
You might not have the numbers, but you putting in your time. You haven't signed off since you got the PS4.
Exactly. I've been working hard for trophies, and I got shit to show for it.
I'm grinding. Look at all the time I put in. Every time we sign on, it's like, I got a friend on. Oh, it's Nick.
Best console ever.
3 a.m. in the morning. It's like, I wonder who's on. Nick.
In other Xbox news, Microsoft revealed its reputation system for the Xbox One in July, and that was the system where you could be rated for your gameplay and not how good a player you are skills wise, but if you were a respectful player or if you were one of those 14-year-old Call of Duty trolls. And their system was that based on your ratings as a player, you could be kind of relegated to matchmaking only with other bad people, and you would kind of be in the dunce room where you will only be matched up with people with similar scores, similar ratings. And that was kind of a way to make Xbox One a kinder, gentler place for online gaming. Well, the console manufacturer has now begun issuing warnings for those that fall into a needs work category for players following feedback from other members of the community. In an Xbox Wire blog this week, Microsoft said, quote, "These warnings are based on community feedback collected since Xbox One launched, so bad reports from others shouldn't take effect for a few weeks of play." So essentially, you're going to go into a needs work category before you're put into the dunce category, the dickhead category. Now, here's the interesting thing, is that Microsoft said before that they were planning to reward people for good behavior, kind of like they do in Grand Theft Auto 5 multiplayer. Whereas if you do good things and you're not a dick, you're going to get, little bonuses. And if you are a dick person, then you're not going to get these bonuses. So they were going to reward good play. But they have also said now that if you fall into the avoid me category, you're going to start seeing penalties on your account, such as reduced matchmaking pairings and restrictions of other Xbox Live functions, such as the ability to use certain privileges, such as Twitch broadcasting.
Oh, wow.
So if you are in the avoid me category, you may lose your ability to Twitch.
The only problem I have with that is how reliable are these things. I mean, let's just say the three of us play and somebody comes in and they're a dick, and we report them. Okay, that's legit. But what if,
we all gang up on Nick and all call him a dick?
And we just something, we just don't like this guy, he said something about the show that we didn't like. And we all tell all our listeners to do the avoid me. And I think we asked Steptoe that when he was on our show here, and he says, no, they have ways of avoiding the blood feud, it's called. Mm-hmm. I just don't, I say you start punishing people. I want to make absolutely sure that there's and I don't know how you track it, that it wasn't just a bunch of people saying that about somebody.
I have faith in them, and I don't know really why, but I do have faith in them that they will understand that, because they're aware of the blood feud. Granted, they don't have Steptoe anymore, so I don't really have any. My confidence in them is slightly reduced, but I do. Sorry, there's a really loud plane going over. I do have
Malaysian plane, maybe.
No.
Did they find
it's Shrimp Boy running out of the country. It's heading to Cuba. I don't know if I do have faith in them that they can figure out if there's a blood feud going. And I've even had surprised to find that there were people that I have a 97% rating on the Xbox 360 because people just decided to be an asshole, and because I have a podcast, so nothing ever came of it. And I think that they'll know. I know that's kind of blind faith, but they'll know.
I'm just curious how much they'll actually do this. Like, they talk about, oh yeah, your Twitch functionality may be limited, but if the technology's there, but if it's just going to be used in such rare cases that it's almost that you almost never hear about.
Yeah, it's almost negligible.
And it's mainly just as a psychological deterrent.
Right. And possibly. But here's a good question. Say I bought Xbox One day one. Woohoo! I bought my Xbox. It's going to have Twitch. It's going to have this. It's going to have that. And all of a sudden, somebody arbitrarily, it's not really arbitrarily, but somebody decides that I am not worthy of having all the features that I bought in this console.
Well, also, I think it'll take more than, a couple bad notices.
Definitely a couple bad, way more than a couple.
That's what I mean. I think the number of bad things you'd have to get, reported on you to limit your Twitch functionality is going to be so high that you rarely see it happen.
Right. But
You gotta be
that
like,
guy, when he's arguably when he bought that Xbox One, that was not one of the conditions of the Xbox One. He bought an Xbox One for its features.
oh,
and then to have
whatever,
his
I'm sure
features.
Microsoft has something in their terms of service that says we can change and limit your features however we like.
That's probably true. That's
They had to make
right.
sure that language was in there so that when they bring back the always online functionality, they don't get sued.
That's also true. So anybody else got any other news?
Yeah, I got a couple.
Okay.
EA won't be the worst company in America this year.
It won't?
Nope. In the very first round, it was beat out by Time Warner Cable.
Oh, yeah, that was a slaughter. Could have called that. That's just because of the way that the who's in the running still now?
I don't know exactly.
Who does that? Was it the Consumerist that does that?
Yeah. I'm wondering, is this like we should applaud EA for, hey, good job, you weren't that bad this year? Or was it just that other companies were more awful?
Yeah, other companies were more awful.
And it's like,
and because they were put up against one of the worst. That's really a function of the latter, not because EA's better. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, I'm reading that now. Round one, it only actually surprisingly lost by a sliver to Time Warner.
Can you just find a sliver?
It was Time Warner was 51.2% and EA was 48.8%.
Oh, that is a sliver.
It's very much a sliver. It's a sliver. Round one, American Airlines versus Lululemon. American Airlines slaughtered Lululemon. Round one, Ticketmaster slaughtered Aetna.
I don't know what Aetna is.
The insurance company.
Okay.
All right, so
SeaWorld.
SeaWorld's in there?
SeaWorld is in the running still.
Okay, so yeah, Time Warner, right now, who's in the running? Time Warner Cable, Koch Industries, who's the Koch brothers, Monsanto, Walmart, Abercrombie and Fitch, Bank of America, American Airlines, Ticketmaster, Chase, McDonald's, Verizon, and Comcast have all made it to the second level.
And Facebook.
Oh, Facebook won because I did not know that Facebook won.
Oh yeah, I've got a picture in front of me.
Yeah, Facebook. Yeah, I do too, but it isn't updated yet. Yeah, surprisingly, Facebook beat out AT&T. Not AT&T, but DirecTV. Which I don't even know why DirecTV was there because DirecTV is awesome. And SeaWorld is still running against Johnson & Johnson.
SeaWorld.
No, SeaWorld won.
SeaWorld won?
Yep. So now it's going to be SeaWorld versus Ticketmaster.
I do have an old one then. I really should check to see.
You got to update your brackets.
Yeah, I've updated
Yeah, I
my
know.
brackets.
Come on. This is...
Yeah, okay, there we go. I've got the updated bracket now. Yeah, so that's the whole thing. Ticketmaster, Chase, McDonald's, AT&T, Verizon, Facebook, Comcast, Time Warner, Koch Industries, Monsanto, Citibank, Walmart, Abercrombie & Fitch, Bank of America, and American Airlines. Anybody want to make any predictions now?
I think Comcast is going to go all the way. Because,
I think Time Warner Cable. No, I think
all of the talk of taking over Time Warner
in the second round. This
might be like them, both of them in the final rounds because of that whole, big deal.
Time
Comcast
Warner.
And Time Warner.
Time Warner can Time Warner go after? Where is Comcast?
They can only fight each other in the final round.
Microsoft. Okay, yeah. Yeah, Time Warner is going up against Koch brothers in this round, so that's going to be an interesting fight. Walmart versus Abercrombie and Fitch, Bank of America versus American Airlines, SeaWorld versus Ticketmaster. Ooh.
I'll bet Ticketmaster wins.
Ticketmaster's going to win that one. Oh, yeah. Chase versus McDonald's. Chase is going to win that one. AT&T versus Verizon. Ooh. And then Comcast versus Facebook. Yeah. This is a very good round. So check it out by going to the consumerist.com.
So in random happy gaming news,
Please.
there's been some talk about Far Cry 4, and apparently it will release in the first half of 2015.
I saw that.
But
But
what I think is awesome is that it'll be set in the Himalayas, not like a mountain, not like a tropical island, and it'll have rideable elephants.
Haha.
cool.
Yeah.
I went back to Far Cry 3, so I'm hoping Far Cry 4 is really good.
If you ever want to throw in Far Cry 3 and do a
already
multiplayer, I'll do
imagine
that.
Riding an elephant into like one of those outposts.
Just put the nail the throttle on the elephant and then just jump off as it goes in.
Exactly.
With some C4.
Right.
Yes.
That's no big deal. Just an
An
elephant.
elephant
Oh, no,
covered
it's
in
a
C4.
Oh, that'd be awesome. I can see somebody doing that.
Oh, that
I
reminds me of what was it? Was it in Battlefield? Where you would take the drone, cover it in C4, and then Chris would fly it into something.
Yep.
There was a video on Battlefield on I forget what map it was. It was one of the daylight maps. It was a small map. Oh, it was the on the radar one, Rogue Transmission. Okay, and they took C4 and there was and they blew up the big cables. Okay, there was some big long cables and they blew them up, and then a guy went up, flew a plane. And he like jumped out of the plane and he grabbed the cable in midair and he did something. And it was like this amazing video on YouTube. And then he got back into the plane somehow. It was just like ridiculous, the stuff that people do in this game with the C4 and jumping out of planes and catching. It was really, really cool. So I can imagine riding elephants and what that might do. Now the Himalayas anywhere is near the Princess Leia's?
No.
Right next door.
Galaxies apart? Da-da-da. We need sound effects. We got Spreaker. Use the sound effects.
Oh, no. Fuck it.
Oh, come on. That's so... me and Nick use sound effects.
I know.
Yeah, it was so good, you know?
All right, I'll do it
you
next
gotta
week.
add
Next
something.
week.
You
Make
sound
it like a
effects.
morning show.
I guess we need to get the Fisher Cat sound effect.
Yeah.
We come home the other night, 9:30. We come home. We went out to Wild Wings, had a couple of beers and a burger. We come home at 9:30, and there's a fox sitting outside our house chowing on something. I was like, "Is that the Fisher Cat?" It's like, "No, it's too big for a Fisher Cat." And had a big tail. I was like, "Oh, it's a fox." So it's like, man, we got the wildlife over here. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, that's crazy. I saw that post on Facebook that you had a fox in your backyard.
And we're not in a woodsy area. I mean, we have some woods around us, but we're not like out in the sticks somewhere. We're in a pretty
They're
busy
probably,
suburb.
because it's been such a harsh winter, they're probably coming into they're out of their native areas and going into your areas just simply because they're having to forage for food because it was such a harsh winter.
Yeah, it could be. And my brother lives one town away. He's probably like 3 or 4 miles from me. And he just posted on Facebook. He had a coyote walking through his yard a half hour ago, and this is 2 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And he's got some big ones down there.
Yeah. Well, we have the same thing in California, but it's usually a drought. At the end of the summer, especially if it's a really bad drought, you will see so much more wildlife. You'll see deer just walking up the street. It's like, what the fuck? It's like, because they're coming down here because they don't have any water in the areas that they normally hang out. So they just start heading where the water is. They're going where the food is.
Yeah, my brother lives right on the water, too.
Yeah.
And so he sees them all the time going through. He has Fisher Cats, coyotes, a whole bit. And we take our dogs over there. We used to let them run around like no more.
Fuck that. Not this year.
Yeah. Since he started seeing the coyotes walk right through his yard, he's got these big, tall reeds that surround his yard, almost like cornfield, Planet of the Apes type of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like
that's terrifying.
Yeah. And it's creepy because when you go over there, like in a summer night, and you're sitting there and you just hear the reeds, and you don't know what's walking through there, if it's just the wind. It's pretty creepy. Good stuff.
Man, farms are like one of the scariest places on earth.
They are. They are.
It's so quiet.
I know.
So far away from everything. There's so many things that block your line of sight.
It is. Let's see. What else we got for news here? It looks like...
I have one other big one, and then some small stuff.
Fire away.
Titanfall 2 won't be Microsoft exclusive. I saw that, and we talked about that. It was who was it? It was Piss Boy, I believe. that had said to me, not even 2 weeks ago, who said, Titanfall 2, no way it's going to be exclusive to Xbox. Titanfall 1 might be, but Titanfall 2 definitely won't. By the way, have we been hearing anything about Titanfall?
I've heard good things about it.
Oh,
I mean, split.
Did you see the video of the guy that was a Barack Obama imitator who went on to
saw the
Xbox?
news story, but I didn't see that. Was
Fucking hilarious! This guy he's a professional imitator of impressionist who does a really, really, really good Barack Obama, got onto Xbox, and I don't know what his gamer tag was, but it might have been Mr. President or President Barack Obama, and got into a group with people, and more people started coming in, and you could tell some people knew that he was joking around, and you could tell other people really thought they might be playing with Mr. President. And the stuff he says is freaking hilarious. Look it up on YouTube. Barack Obama plays Titanfall. So funny. And
I can picture him play. It's like, oh, died again. Damn George Bush.
No, let's see if I can pull it up.
I would have won this match if it wasn't for the previous administration.
No, it wasn't anything like that. Here we go. I'll play a little bit of it so that you can hear it. Oh, crap. There's an advertisement for Walmart. God damn it.
Oh, that's awesome.
One of the worst companies in America.
I know.
In the running.
And it just makes me hate them even more. All right, so 20 seconds left. And the guy that does it, you could tell his voice isn't quite right, but it's close enough that you just might believe it was Barack Obama hanging out.
Have you seen the videos of the guy with the gamer tag Xbox off?
No.
Yeah, people are like, they're playing Call of Duty like, Xbox turn off? What the? No, stop, cancel. It's pretty good.
All right, here you go.
In this year of action, I'm doing everything I can, with or without Congress, to expand opportunity for more Americans. This week, I gave some young folks the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to kick some ass with the president in the new game, Titanfall. Hello, everyone.
Hello. Wow, that's crazy. Hello.
I assure you, it is not crazy.
I was just thinking about the airplane. I didn't know what.
Oh, the Malaysia air flight.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to that.
Yeah.
You know, plane just doesn't disappear like that. Something had to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
exactly.
have you ever heard of Amelia Earhart?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I have.
You know why we haven't found Amelia Earhart's plane yet?
Why?
Because there's no oil in it.
So have you played this at all, Mr. President?
Well, I played it for about a half an hour a little bit ago.
Noob.
And so I apologize if I suck at it.
Freedom of speech. First Amendment.
We got this, though. We got this.
Yeah, guys. Sure. The president's a noob. I've heard it before.
So what gun are you using, Mr. President?
The Smart Pistol MK5.
Okay.
I don't know.
That's okay.
It's a smart one for smart people.
Don't condescend me.
I understand.
I've been in government for a long time. I can smell bullshit.
So as you can see, it's really pretty convincing, especially I can imagine if you had your headset
That was
on.
good. That was real good, actually.
Yeah.
Just how he handled himself. He wasn't really over the top, but he was.
He wasn't wasn't kind of making.
You just
Like,
might believe it, especially
jokes.
after he done that Between Two Ferns with Zach Galifianakis.
Yeah, that's true.
That you go, maybe that is Barack Obama.
Yeah.
And it's pretty funny because he's just funny enough that he would. It's just like it almost might be shit he says, you know. So,
So Titanfall. So I'm hearing a couple different schools of thought on it. You got some people that just absolutely love it to death, and then you get some other people who a good friend of mine who's a big Xbox One guy, and Titanfall Dave's unbelievable. He's already traded it in.
really?
I'm like, what do you mean you traded it in? Oh, I don't have the time for it. Well, he's like, oh, but I'm playing Forza 5 like every day. It's so awesome. well, if Titanfall was so awesome, I think you'd be playing it every day.
Right.
So I'm hearing that some people, like I say, I love it. Some people are just getting bored real fast with it. The multiplayer only is like I say, it's split. Some people like the multiplayer, and some people like, no, I kind of like my single player, and I want to play alone sometimes. It was definitely overhyped, big time, and there's no way it could have lived up to that hype. And that's the sad part about it, because all you heard was Titanfall, and it's going to save Xbox One, and I don't know. I'm hearing mixed things about it. It's not all good. It's not all bad. It's really kind of split.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to be able to play it for 360, but they delayed it by like 2 weeks. So,
But
can't play it because it is coming out for 360,
Yeah.
and apparently, like the versions are supposed to be like exactly the same feature-wise.
No, I don't see how they can be, because that would be doing a disservice to Xbox One, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, not graphics-wise, but feature-wise.
But I'm just saying, though. I mean, if you,
But yeah, I'm with you.
yeah, I mean, if you got the new and improved and the new thing, you want it better. Like I remember when Ghost Recon came out on Xbox 360, they released it for Xbox One, and in the top left corner, there was a little camera in the HUD that you could control, and you could see what your teammates were seeing. And it was kind of neat, and you could like switch from one player to another to see what they were seeing in the battle. And the Xbox original version didn't have that. So when you went to the 360, you got a couple of little bells and whistles that the new technology could handle. So I'd like to see that. If they're releasing games on both systems, you want the new one to be better and have more features. And that's what you'd want to play it on, too. You wouldn't want to play it on the old one. You'd want to play it on the new one.
Right.
I would think.
Yeah. I couldn't agree with you more on that one. Rare that you and I agree 100%, but we do on that.
No, we do quite a bit. More than you think.
Yeah, probably
you just
true.
play it up. You just like to put the black hat on me and make me the bad guy. I'm the Wicked Witch of the West. You know what I mean?
Somebody's got to hate you. It might as well be me.
I know. Every once in a while, I got to be the bad guy.
Okay, so any other last little lingering news items?
A lot of little stuff
Apparently-
going on.
Yeah, we know how the Game of Thrones Telltale game is going to take place. Apparently, it'll take place concurrently with the main story.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be a prequel. It's just going to be...
I'm okay with that.
You know,
They did the same
Walking
thing
Dead
with
style.
Walking Dead, yeah. And I like that. It expands the universe into more of a, I don't know, it makes it feel more real when you have two separate stories and two separate worlds. That they all kind of run on the same ideology of the world, but they're different stories and they play out differently. It's more of what you love instead of trying to redo something you already have loved. So, anything else?
There's a funny video by Double Fine. Apparently, they helped a guy. They didn't put out this game called Scapegoat, but apparently, like, the developer used their offices and stuff, and that's something Double Fine is doing, is, like, letting in developers use their offices and resources.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a real great video that announces Scapegoat 2 that you should go watch.
Okay. I saw that. I didn't watch it.
This
Speaking
is,
of goat.
this is turning into the year of the goat.
Oh, it's only 4 days. Only 4 days until Goat Simulator. Cannot wait. Please tell me you're going to buy this day one. Please, Nick. I want to play Goat Simulator with you.
Is it multiplayer?
Oh, I guess not. I still want to be on a Skype. Fuck. We've got to find a way to put up, clips of this onto YouTube so people can see us play Goat Simulator.
That needs to come to PS4.
No,
as an indie game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, good for them that they found a game where they are essentially working with bugs. And they've said flat out that this game is going to be buggy because essentially all of the graphics bugs that they're putting in that's the nature of bugs, is you can't really tell what they're going to do until they happen. And it puts a strain on the processor. So everything is it might break. And they're trying to get rid of the things that kind of break the game, but to fully expect that the game is going to quit a lot because things are going to happen graphically that are not supposed to happen, and it's going to fuck up the game. But they say it's still going to be worth it.
Yeah, but it depends how much it crashes.
Right.
But
And even if it crashes a lot at the beginning, I'll still have it at the end.
yes,
I'll be playing that.
fun with it.
You know what? Like, if the bugs are just like graphical bugs and physics bugs, that just adds to the fun.
Right. Well, that's what they want to do, is that they've got the graphics bugs and the physics bugs. That's essentially what they have programmed in and are not taking out. But when you have graphics bugs and physics bugs, they frequently tend to fuck up other parts of the game. And those are the things that they really can't control, because in order to control them, they have to get rid of the physics bugs, which is the game. So they're in a catch-22. If they make it a completely stable game, it won't do what it's going to do. It won't be the game that it is.
No, I hear you on that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Diablo 3 is out on PC, I believe, right now. Coming to PS4. I can't wait. But I guess now it's also going to be coming to Xbox One, as they're simultaneously working on that at the same time as the PS4 one. Mm-hmm. So, the more Diablo, the better.
Yep.
And I hope they keep coming out with DLC for that, because I can't wait for that to come to PS4. That's going to be
I'm looking forward to that, too. That's going to be a lot of fun.
We had so much fun on Xbox 360, and I'm hoping it's like Tomb Raider, whereas I went back and played that again and loved it. So I'm kind of hoping I can go back in Diablo and love it again on the PS4.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. All right, well, on that note, you want to end this? By the way, here's the new update of what the shows are going to be like. Due to popular demand, there was some concern by some of the listeners that when you'd listen to happy endings after the show, you'd listen to it live, but then we'd be referencing the show that we'd already recorded, so they'd kind of have to go back in time to listen to the show that was being referenced live. So rather than do that, like we say, according to popular demand, we're going to try a new thing. We're going to do GameHounds Live, one show every week. We're going to start it we're going to cut, this goalie called it cutting the baby in half. We're going to do it at 11 o'clock Wednesdays. From 11 until what?
About 1.
1.
And
11.
then, roughly 2 hours. And so two on the East Coast over here.
Right. 11 o'clock. I'm talking Pacific time, so add 3 hours to everything for
What would that
Eastern
be
time.
in North Korea time? Anybody know?
Oh, I have no idea.
What would that
Sorry.
be in North Korea time?
Look it up. Google.
Does
So,
North Korea time move slower than normal time?
what?
Yeah, they're still in the 50s.
Yeah. Because they're like way in the past, right?
Right.
They haven't caught up to
No.
the rest of us.
So anyway, we're going to be starting next week. Live GameHounds, no happy endings, but GameHounds Live will begin at 11 o'clock Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. And you will be here. We will also put that show up on our regular feed that goes to iTunes, and it will be one show a week instead of a 5-hour freaking marathon every week. So hopefully that doesn't wreck your schedules, because I know that a lot of you actually set your clocks so that you can come in and talk to us.
Yeah, but it's only an hour early, so even if they can't come in till noon Western time, they'll still catch an hour live.
Right.
Which is what we were kind of doing anyway. We're just cutting out the 2 different shows and whatever. So one big live love fest.
Yep.
Oozing with different things.
All right. So
Are we
ready to close this show out?
Let's close out the first episodes of GameHounds Live.
All right.
We need music though. None of that bassy stuff that you have for happy endings.
Yeah, no, we'll redo it. Don't worry about it.
It's a celebration.
I know it's
grand.
it's spring. It's almost 30 degrees over here. We really need to brighten it up and some pretty colors and pretty music and really embrace. I embrace solutions.
Okay, all right.
Not
We'll embrace
excuses.
solutions. All right,
Air quotes John Taffer.
You could have something hot, something that'll melt the snow around.
I'm going to be doing a bar rescue show, by the way, I think.
Okay.
Like right after this, right now.
All right.
Let's start it right now, actually. Hello, welcome to Bar Rescue.
No, how about this? Why don't we end this show first? You have been listening to GameHounds.
No, it's like the equivalent of TV. When the credits for one show are running, you start the other show right away.
Oh, now coming up, Holy Goalie Talks Bar Rescue.
I'm just going to stop the music now. Just let me know when you're done. Let me know when you're done, and we'll restart that music again.
Oh, you already started the bad.
Yes, it's been on for a minute.
All right. If you're gonna.
All right, here. Why don't I make it real loud so you can hear it?
No.
What?
No. Don't be like that. Stop. Stop. All right, go ahead. Nick, I'm done. You done?
Yeah, I got nothing else to say.
All right, I'm putting the music, the volume up so you can hear it. All right. Let's close this out. You have been listening to GameHounds, episode 255, the first of many GameHounds Lives. We have been recording on Wednesday, March 26, 2014. I've been Edie Sellers, and with me has been Holy Goalie and Nick DiNicola. All right, ways to get a hold of us. GameHounds.net is our website. GameHounds@gmail.com is our email. Send us an email. We would love to hear from you. Also, remember that from now on, we were going to be recording on Wednesdays beginning at 11 o'clock in the morning on Pacific time, and that would be 2 p.m. Eastern time for our live shows. Our shows are going to be all live now and then uploaded later, so you can listen to it live or listen to it on demand. Let us know what you think about this, because this is a new thing for us. We would love to have your feedback. GameHounds@gmail.com. Other place to give us feedback is our Facebook page, Facebook.com/ is it The GameHounds? Or GameHounds? /GameHounds.
The GameHounds.
The GameHounds. Facebook /The GameHounds. And then also, there's our voicemail and chat line. That number is
304-300-9889.
Goalie, Nick, thank you so much for listening to us, for being with us, and everybody in the chat room, thanks for listening to us. And we will talk to you next week, 11 o'clock Pacific, 2 o'clock Eastern. Have a good weekend, you guys. Nick, Goalie.
Yeah.
Have a good week.
Bye.
Bye.
Later. Bye. Bye.